checked the sound, Abby, and it's loud. So I don't know why it's not working on your end, but check it again. Hello. Hold on. Okay. I checked this. Okay. So I checked the sound, Abby, and it's working. So I'm sorry. Just reboot again. Okay. So I want to finish off where I left off. Okay. So basically, that's the premise of this. Like, we have to heal, ladies. And the nonsense has got to stop. And if you're dealing with jealousy, then you must understand that that is a spirit. It's a demon spirit. And that you have to work on getting um, counseling. You need to talk to your husband about it. You need to be fasting and praying. You should keep your head covered most of the time so that you are not dealing and letting spirits take a hold of you. It's very important that you learn to protect yourself. It's not normal to be jealous, just a jealous that's a very miserable way to be and a very miserable way to live. And even for men, because there's men who are jealous and they think that that constitutes love when you are jealous over your spouse or over other people. That don't mean that you love a person because you feel jealous. Jealousy is a spirit. It's an emotional that comes on you when you it overtake taken by a spirit. Okay? And it's sin. And the Most High said that sin won't come into the kingdom. And I pray that it doesn't come in the kingdom because I cannot deal with that kind of spirit. And I would feel like, Most High, how could you allow this? Like, if we have to deal with that spirit in the kingdom, pray that I make it there. That that's a horrible thing to have to deal with. So I wanted to really talk about this, and we're going to go into some scriptures about it. But we're going to really get into these kind of situations, and hopefully after we're done, we can talk on Skype and have sisters and brothers have dialogue about it because it's not healthy. And I have touched on this in other videos that I spoke about, but I really want to drive it home and stay on this because that's a woman who's insecure and jealous and envious is the worst. And the scriptures talk about these kind of things. And I'm going to read some scriptures pertaining to jealousy and envy so that you can see how the Most High feels about it. Okay? Well, again, I spoke to you about 2 Corinthians 11 and 2, where the Most High said that he is jealous over us, but he has a godly jealous. So it's a different type of jealousy than the, um, the jealousy we deal with. Ours is sin. The Most High, he doesn't deal with sin, but he has a godly jealousy. So don't use that as a way to because the Most High was jealous, that it's okay, sisters. That rationalization is not healthy to even put yourself in the same category as the Most High and justify bad behavior. You know, calling good evil and evil good. That's what you're doing. So if you go to Proverbs 27 and 4, it says, "Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy?" So that means wrath is horrible and anger is worse, but envy is above most of them all. So if you have a person who's dealing with envy, which is jealousy, that is a spirit that is very wicked. It's a wicked spirit, and you have to get rid of that spirit. Okay, if you go to Proverbs 14 and 30, it says, "A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy, rottenness of the bones." So again, this is what jealousy will do to you. It changes your countenance and everything. When a woman is jealous, I mean, if anybody's jealous, the man is jealous or the woman's jealousy, it's you can see the spirit on them. First of all, it's definitely a spirit. Um, let's go into Romans 1 and 30. It says, "Backbiters, haters of Ahiah, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without unnatural affection, implausible, and unmerciful. These are the things that the Most High is considering wickedness and will not make it into the kingdom. So if we're dealing with those kind of things, you must know that it's not good. I said Romans 1:29 says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. These are the things that the Most High hate. So we can't be operating in this. And sisters think that they okay because they doing the law, statute, and commandments, and they keeping the holy days and that. But you have a spirit on you of jealousy. How you gonna make it to the kingdom with dealing with that spirit? It's not a righteous spirit at all. And then these same sisters will turn around and act like they're Proverbs 31 women. Proverbs 31 women are not jealous women. They're very secure. They're not envious of other sisters. They don't operate in those spirits of having to be insecure when another woman walk into the room, when she's doing all she can for her husband. See, because a jealous woman ain't going to do that. They're going to hold back because they going to feel like, he's not giving what he needs to be giving me, so I'm not going to be giving it. It's a whole spirit that comes with jealousy. If you're jealous, you're not going to give your all to a person because, first of all, you're dealing with so much rage and hate. You can't even function properly on a day-to-day basis because you're too worried about what your man is doing. So a Proverbs 31 woman, a virtuous woman, a righteous woman don't act like that, and they don't operate like that. And sisters really have to put two and two together. Because a lot of these sisters be walking around hateful and evil because of jealousy, and then going to come out their mouth and call themselves a Proverbs 31 woman or a virtuous woman because they clean in their house and you take care of their kids. You're supposed to clean your house. You're supposed to take care of your kids. That's what any woman does that. But you're not supposed to be operating in evilness and harboring feelings and, all kind of deep rooted, spirits towards your husband and towards other women. And normally they don't gear it towards their husband. They'll try to act sweet as pies. Everything is okay. But as soon as another woman come in the room, it's like they turn into a whole another person. And they can't help themselves. It's gonna come out. The jealousy, that spirit is gonna come out. You can't hide it but for so long. That's the thing about it. You can see it. And if you're dealing with a person who can discern spirits on people, you can pick that thing up right away. They could be smiling, hi, and acting all nice, but that spirit is going to reveal itself. And so you can't hide it, sisters. You're going to have to learn to deal with yourselves. Get to the bottom and the root of this thing so that you can operate normally. And like I said before, I've seen sisters act all nice and everything. But after a couple of days, a week, two go by, all bets are off. They're angry. They have a problem. They're lashing out. They're doing things within their marriage. They're doing all kind of stuff, all because they're jealous. And they're trying to act like they're not jealous. So they're holding this stuff in. And then it's bound to come out. You understand? Your household is in disarray. Stuff will start to show. The cracks will start to show. Water will start leaking all over the place. Because you're trying to hold yourself together and try to act like you're not jealous, and you can't take it anymore. So imagine when you come into the wilderness and you're dealing with a bunch of other women. Scripture says 7 women to 1. Now, and a lot of people are like, oh, in that day, but we not in that day. Oh, really? Tell me about it. We not in that day. But see, that's more ambiguity. Everybody want to act like they don't know what's going on. They don't know that they're supposed to be in the wilderness now. Elder Wakar just did a teaching on the 7 years. Aren't we supposed to be in the wilderness for 7 years? But nobody's kind of like putting that together. Like they can't seem to put that 2 and 2 together. Go look at one of his old videos, according to the wilderness, or one of, I think that's the title. He talks about there's a 7 year period which we are in the wilderness. Now here, fast forward, he just did a teaching on the Jubilees, the 50th year, and there's 7 more years. Nobody's putting it together that maybe we're supposed to be in the wilderness now. Now we're supposed to be in the wilderness preparing. Like your preparation time is even over. You're supposed to be just here in the wilderness. You can see these things are coming to pass. Greece just went into a financial disarray, bank run, not thinking that's going to happen to America really soon. Nobody's putting these things together. Why? Because nobody's out and out telling you, run, run. Somebody literally have to tell you to run, because nobody can put it together that, yes, we are in that day. We are in that time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in that time now. So when people go, getting back to the scriptures, when it says 7 women will take hold to one man, nobody can seem to like put that together. Like, that's, hey, that's now. So sisters, feel free to operate like demons. I have to just say it, sisters. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but that's what you're acting like. That's what you're looking like when you take these kind of, take on these kind of attitudes where you feel that you have the right to be a demon to another woman just because you're married and somebody has to come around your husband. That's horrible. And so let's go into some more scriptures. If you go into Sirach 26, chapter 1, let me just say, on a good note, it says, blessed is the man that has a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be doubled. A virtuous woman rejoices her husband, and she fulfills the years of his life in peace. So a jealous sister who's jealous, that's like, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? Well, why you got to do that? Well, who told you to do that for her? Why you got to do this for her? That ain't peace, sisters. That's not peace. Okay, so that's not a virtuous woman if you got to be arguing and questioning your man about why he's doing and making certain choices he needs to make to do things for other people. Sisters really seem to have a problem with that. And I thank the Most High that I'm in this position where I can speak like this. Because see, it's wickedness for a married woman to not be able to see these things in scriptures because you're married. But a single sister can bring this out in scriptures because she's single. And then when she gets married, all of a sudden all bets is off. She can't see that no more in the scriptures. She can't understand it. All because she got married. That's straight wickedness. You're supposed to be about the Most High's business, whether you're married or you're single. And I prayed to the Most High that I don't ever have to deal with that spirit of jealousy. That's a horrible spirit to be under. It's horrible. Any spirit. But to be jealous in any situation is a horrible way to live. And I just praise the Most High, even though I'm a single woman, and I'm going to be an advocate for sisters who are single, who have to deal with, coming to the wilderness and have to deal with other, men and women, and because, have to go without or have to be in a bad situation because you don't want to ask the brother because his wife is going to be mad. Because she going to get an attitude, or he ain't going to be able to do but so much to help you because he don't want to hear his wife's mouth. What kind of madness and nonsense is that? For us to be having to operate as a nation. But because you got some of these brothers who can't take a stand, they still operating not as kings yet. So they still trying to, operate like little boys who's living in their mama house instead of acting like a grown man who who has his wife under subjection, and she has to understand it to know that yes, I have to help some other women, and it shouldn't be a problem, sister, or honey, or however he addresses his wife. It should not be a problem if you have to address and help other sisters. And you shouldn't have to lie on the scriptures and say this don't exist in order to please your wife, or the, that's wickedness. The scriptures say what they say, and the Most High is they're gonna come to pass whether you like it or not, or whether you're gonna be there or not. These prophecies are gonna come to pass, and so I thank the Most High that I can speak like this. And I definitely pray to the Most High that if I get married, that I still speak like this. That I will be an example for sisters. That as a married woman, that I'm not going to act in jealousy or in insecurity or envy another woman because I'm married and my husband has to interact with other sisters. I would be ashamed of myself if I turned around and had that spirit on me and couldn't operate as a kind and loving sister and help other people because I'm married and I'm afraid that my husband may take a liking to another woman. Sisters, you need to have conversations with your husband. You need to, that's what marriage is all about. Two flesh becoming one. He understands you and you understand him. You don't have to be insecure. See, that kind of things happens when in marriage, when people really don't even know each other. That's what it is. You jumping in bed with a person that you don't really even know. So now you have to wonder how he's going to act in this situation, how he's going to respond in that situation, because you never took the time to got to know the brother. And that's sin, because you shouldn't be jumping into bed with just anybody. And now you're married. So it still falls on you, sister. You can't be acting like, oh, well, he's doing this and he's doing that. You shouldn't have laid with the brother. If you didn't know how the brother was going to act and respond and treat you in different situations, you don't need to be sleeping with the man. That's the bottom line. And so now anything that you have to deal with after you made the mistake, you have to take it like a woman. And now you got to retrain and redo everything that you, and undo everything that you did. But you cannot blame other sisters for that. You're going to have to take it, grin it, and bear it, and do what you need to do to get your household straight. That's what you're supposed to do, sister. You need to be fasting and praying for your husband. If you say you made a mistake, okay, because we all can make mistakes. You got with a man, he's a whoremonger, okay? Acknowledge that he's a whoremonger and start praying for your husband. Deal with your situation. Don't take it out on other sisters, because that's wicked to do that. When you know that it ain't the sister, it's the man. This is how he is. You know he's like that because you seen him do it and he operated. He did it with you. So you can't pretend like, oh, this is not part of his character. You pray for your man. You pray for your husband. You go to the Most High and have him petition for you on your behalf. That's how you handle it, sister. Because prayer works. Prayer works. Get on your knees and go to the Father and ask him to heal your husband of the spirit that he's dealing with. Because that's another demon. If your husband don't know how to treat you, if he's not doing you right, that's a spirit. And you got to pray and ask the Most High to intervene in your marriage. You fast. That's what you do. You don't take it out on other sisters. Because it's not, and I just want to say, that it's not going to be tolerated. Those demon spirits are not going to be tolerated. It's not that somebody has to be dealing with that, a brunt of that wickedness. No one should have to be subjected to that spirit that you're under. You should know, learn yourself, start to work on yourself. If you have a problem with insecurity and jealous, or if you feel your husband, then you go to an elder. And if your husband is causing you to be jealous, because a lot of brothers play games too. I'm not only talking about sisters and how wrong we are, but our sisters is always innocent, ambiguity. They don't know why, and they don't know how this came about. They always just ended up in these situations instead of really owning up to their behavior, how they do things, why they do things, and so forth, so forth and so on. Accountability, that's what we're going to start dealing with. So now, if your husband is not right, if he's, you know, dealing with you in a manner that's not righteous, where he's making you jealous, doing things, not communicating with you, you know, there got to be a balance. Then you have to go to an elder. You speak to someone about this. You need counseling. Because it should not be that you have to come among other people in the congregation and now everybody got to go through this whole spiritual thing because you have not taken the time to address the issues in your household. You have to address these issues. And a lot of women don't like to address their man because they don't want to have a problem. They don't want to do this. But then you have to figure out a way of how to address your man. And then men need to start having these dialogues with each other to start helping brothers get out of some of the bad habits and start healing from some of the demons that they're dealing with on how to treat women. Don't jump into a marriage with someone if you don't know how to treat another person. You know, I have seen some very bad situations where sisters are crying, doing all kind of things, reaching out for help because they don't know how else because the man just doesn't listen. You need counseling. And I think that most marriages coming out of Babylon need to be counseled. From the elders on down, need counseling. Somebody needs to talk to, couples need to talk to other people to get out these issues because we all coming out with baggage. So there's no marriage that's safe. There's no, situation that's, you know, healthy because you're coming out of an unhealthy situation. There's no way you're healthy. You must heal. So that way you can turn around and heal somebody else. It's hard for you to counsel anybody, be an elder of anybody, head over a church when your household is in shambles and you trying to act like everything is okay. You're not doing anything any good for the congregation. You're not doing anything for your well-being or your wife's well-being or your family. So once we start having these kind of dialogues to let you know that these kind of things cannot be tolerated, we have to start addressing these issues. You know, and I thank the Most High because I've been removed. I praise and thank the Most High. A lot of things I haven't dealt with, but I know how Babylon was. I know what I was dealing with when I was in Babylon. So I'm just hearing these stories. Sisters are talking. They're telling you about their situations. I try to counsel and give them some advice on how to deal with certain things, and that's why I'm bringing it to this forum because it's a very serious issues. I've heard it from a lot of sisters talking about it, going to these places, being amongst other women and sisters, and they just get shut down cold and treated like they are the arch enemy, like they done did something to this person, when all it is the other sister is jealous or insecure because of her marriage and her situation. And I understand that the sisters feel away because the whole multiple wives issue amongst the Israelite community. And usually the brothers are going from one extreme to the next. Either multiple wives and polygamy is condoned because a lot of brothers are dealing with a whoremonger spirit and this and that. Because I'm not condoning that either. Or it's all the way to the other extreme. He's saying emphatically no, speaking against the scriptures. He don't even care that he's speaking against the scriptures, and you're speaking against the word of the Most High, which is blasphemy. Actually, they'll go way to the other extreme and go, no, it's not permitted, and it's a sin. When that's ridiculous, is just as ridiculous. Either you're not supposed to be a whoremonger, but you're not supposed to lie on the scriptures just to make people feel comfortable in your realm. That's not going to work. It's not going to fly. People are going to have to learn to find the scriptures and keep the laws according to the Most High. That's what you have to do. And you have to do it without any compromising on either side. Because I can care less either way. I can care less if a brother have multiple wives, or I can care less if a brother loves his wife and he only wants one. I can care less. The only thing I'm concerned is that when we come into the wilderness, what's going to happen. Because see, the Most High dealt with me within time. He dealt with me during for revelations. He dealt with me with Daniel's and also the wilderness. What's going to happen? Making sure things is right. That's what's been on my spirit, and that's why I'm even taking the time to have these kind of dialogues and forums because how the Most High dealt with me. So I'm not going to compromise on either way. You know, I know how sisters. I know how hard it is for the average sister to deal with the multiple wives thought. They can't even think about it. And I know how a single sister who, because they're going to come into this wilderness, and I know what the scripture says about 7 women will take hold of 1 man in that day. And yes, we are in that day. It's coming. It's here. We're here. Because there's people in the wilderness right now. There's sisters without a man in the wilderness now. And there's more coming. So we're going to have to work this out. People are going to stop with the whole ambiguity thing. They just don't see it coming. They don't know that we're supposed to be in the wilderness. They can't grasp the concept. They, just because Elder Ricard did the 7-year Jubilee thing, now they think, oh, we got 7 more years. And they don't remember that we are to be in the wilderness for 7 years. Like you can't even grasp that you're supposed to be in the wilderness now. You can't grasp that whole concept because you hear 7 more years and it's like, oh, we got time. But meanwhile, all Hades is breaking loose around you and you acting like you just don't see it. So, okay, I wanted to address this issue. I'm going to be, keep every so often talking about this whole jealousy thing because sisters need to get past it. We got to get over it. We're going to have to learn how to deal with other sisters. And there's going to be 7 to 1. And like I said in my other video about multiple wives, if you can't fathom other sisters coming in a room, in a building, a festivity, and your husband having some dialogue with her, and you having an issue, imagine when you're in the wilderness with 7 to 1. What are you going to do? And I hear a lot of brothers go like, oh, I only want 1. Good for you, brother. But there's going to be 6 other women, and it ain't going to be your mother-in-law and your cousin because they ain't waking up coming out, as you can see. And they make the excuse, oh, Moses had da-da-da. That's not the issue. It's not going to be the case. Stop lying to yourself. And let's handle the situation and so that we can build as a nation. And that's an issue that we as a people like to do. We lie to ourselves. I hear people lie to themselves all the time. Like, oh, no, that's not real. No. Did you see that? No, I ain't see that. They just act like it's not going on. Just so that they don't have to deal with themselves and how they're going to feel about it. And so we're going to have to learn how to deal with this issue, sisters. Because righteous women are not jealous. Righteous, virtuous women are not insecure. They don't get insecure because why? You're too busy taking care of what you got to take care of. You do things in a righteous way, so then you trust your man because why? You having dialogue with your man. He knows how you feel about it. And if he loves you, he's never going to do anything to hurt you. And if you're a righteous woman, you're going into these scriptures and you're getting understanding. And so that you're prepared and you know. You're not going to be like, oh, I got married and, oh, I can't even fathom that. I speak to sisters all the time saying things like that. Like they're married. You know you're Hebrew Israelite. You know about the wilderness and you know you're coming. But you never heard about polygamy. You never heard of in that day there'll be 7 women to one. Like they just don't know nothing because they ain't reading these scriptures. The scriptures tell you that in that day a man will be like fine gold. Even the other nations are going to be coming to the men. And how are you going to deal with that? Other nations. So you're going to have Indian women, Esau. You're going to have Pakistani women, because a lot of men are going to get killed in war. So what are you going to do if you're a jealous and insecure woman, and you not only Hebrew Israelites are going to be under your household, you're going to have other nations operating, dealing with your husband. He has to help them. What are you going to do? And I said this before, and I know what the scriptures say. And who knows? Praise the Most High. I may be married in the wilderness, even though I never even thought I would. But the Most High, the way He's doing things, I may be married in the wilderness, and I may have to be an example of how sisters have to operate. Because but I'm letting you know now, it's not going to be tolerated having those kind of demon spirits. That demon has to be cast out. You're going to have to put that down. It's not going to be like, oh, it's normal that sisters just catty and normal that sisters act jealous. That's wickedness. And it's not going to be tolerated. Sisters, attacking each other and doing mean things, saying mean things, being catty remarks, being hateful, you know? We should not have to operate like that, sisters. Enough is enough. It's over. Babylon, all that stuff is behind us. We ain't operating like that no more. So all that myth that sisters can't get along, women can't get along, that's all Babylon spiritual demon stuff. We don't operate. Virtuous women don't operate like that. Proverbs 31 women don't operate like that. It's not becoming, it's not righteous at all. And any brother who has a wife that's dealing with that, brothers need to be handling those type of situations. Don't just let your wife walk around with that spirit on her, because a lot of times the brothers has the spirit too. They dealing with all kind of nonsense and that's not being addressed, and nobody wants to say nothing. I noticed that brothers don't want to correct other brothers because they don't want to get into a problem with brothers. So they'll just let stuff go on. They'll let nonsense on top of nonsense go on because brothers don't want to correct each other because they don't want to have to deal with that brother. And if the brothers rise up or get irate, listen. Are you your brother's keeper? Because you're supposed to be. You're supposed to care about the well-being of your brother. And if he gets mad, he's just going to have to get mad. Just like with sisters. Listen, I love y'all. I love my sisters, and I want to see y'all get to where y'all need to get. But I'm going to have to tell you what you need to do. If you don't know what to do, somebody has to tell you that you got to put down this wickedness, this straight wickedness. And let me go into some more scriptures. In Sirach 26, it says, okay, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High. So, brothers, in order for you to get a good wife, a righteous wife, it's like I said in my other videos, it's a blessing of the Most High. That's a gift of the Most High. So if you're not a righteous brother, don't expect to have a righteous woman. He just ain't going to give it to you. It's a good portion that's given to those that fear a higher. He gives those to you. Okay? Sirach 26 and 5, it says, there will be 3 things that mine heart feareth, and for the 4th I was sore afraid. A slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude. Okay? So that's like saying a whole bunch of sisters that have this spirit on them of jealousy, or a whole bunch of unruly, unrighteous brothers and sisters in the wilderness together. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? So it behooves us to start dealing with these issues now. The gathering together of an unruly multitude, a false accusation, all these are worse than death. So the Most High consider these things worse than death. Because we're not supposed to be operating in unrighteousness at all. Dealing with any kind of demonic spirits or any kind of thing like that is not of the Most High, is not of Christ, and will cost you your salvation. because you won't make it to the kingdom. And I had made this comment in my video about the multiple wives situation. Like, I would hate to get in the wilderness and see sisters going through that, and they don't understand that you you can not make it to the kingdom because of this, because you just can't deal with other women being around your husband, so much so that you have hate. You become hateful. You become mean. You become angry, envious. Now you're dealing with malice. All these things you can't deal with. It will cost you the kingdom. So it really behooves us, sisters, to get this thing together. It's an unrighteous spirit and it's sin. It says, but grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. It's grief of the heart. It's sorrow, according to the Most High. It is a miserable way to be. For anybody to be jealous over another woman, or a man to be jealous of another man, and you have to be living in a situation where this person has to interact with you every day and you're jealous. How miserable is that? And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. And that's what it becomes. The woman becomes so hateful and resentful, her mouth is like a weapon. She's cutting the eye. I mean, have you seen how people who are jealous, how they act? It's really miserable. Okay, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro, and he that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. This is how the Most High views a woman who's dealing with jealousy and envy. It's like holding a Scorpio that's bound to sting you. It's a hateful, hateful spirit. And sisters have to get past it. And most of us have dealt with it. I know I've dealt with it in my life. And I thank the Most High that it was very few situations where I dealt with that. And even in that, I knew enough. I had enough, common sense, if I can call it that, not to, take it out on the woman. I knew not to do that because it's never the other woman's fault. You have to deal with that with your man in your household. If your husband is a whoremonger, then deal with that issue of your husband. I mean, I'm sure that there are sisters who try to do stuff, but see, if your man is in order, you will never have to worry about another sister flirting with your man. He's a righteous man. He ain't gonna take heed or go for that. So you have to deal with your husband. Get your husband in order. Get your household in order. So that if you was dealing with a whoremonger, you need to be praying to the Most High because you made a mistake in getting with this type of man. If he ain't, respecting you enough to do righteously by you. Now, that's something you have to deal with. That's between you and the Most High. Because just like a man, it's a good thing for a man to find a good wife. It's a blessing for a righteous woman to get a righteous man. See, that's how the Most High rewards you for righteousness. It shouldn't be that a righteous woman gets a whoremonger. The Most High is not going to do that. He blessed those. He's into the blessing business. So if you have to look at and question your relationship, then you need to look at it. Why? Why? What is it about me that I would even attract this type of brother? And then go into that, because it's all about healing and taking onus on what you're doing and what you're doing in your life. You can't operate in the ambiguity and the woe is me, because most sisters like to come off like that. Woe is me. Oh, he's doing this and he's doing that. But they ain't talking about none of the stuff that they're doing and how they're operating. And how'd you get the man? How did you meet the man? Because you done did something you wasn't supposed to. You probably took him from someone else. You knew he was in a relationship. You knew that he had a woman, but you got involved with him anyway. And now it's coming back to you the same way. Most High, he do stuff like that because what's right is right. You got to do things in a righteous way. And then, after 2 or 3 years, you want to act like you're a Proverbs 31 woman. Because now you got a husband and y'all settled down, and now you're a Proverbs 31 woman, but you done forgot what you did. But the Most High didn't forget. how you conducted yourself, how I had all kind of things, and I was seeing all kind of stuff in Babylon, what sisters was doing, sending brothers naked pictures on, excuse my French. I mean, I ain't saying anything bad, but I'm just saying I don't want to, say these kind of things, but sending the inappropriate pictures to men on their phones, showing their bodies and this and this and that. And the man probably was in a relationship, and now you done enticed him in this way. And now you mad when you're home with him and he's on the internet all day. Because I can imagine what's going through your mind. Who's sending him pictures now? But this is how the Most High will do you, because this is what you did. You're gonna get exactly what you gave. And so now you want to act like, oh, he's acting like this. I'm cooking and I'm cleaning, and then you want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Oh, now you want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. After you done got the man, but you got him in an unrighteous way. You was dealing in wickedness. Now you want to turn everything around, and he's the bad guy. But he ain't never changed, because he was the same brother that you was doing that to. But now he ain't off the internet no more. You off the internet, because you done got what you felt that you wanted. But he's still the same brother. So what do? Now you done got yourself into the situation. All you can do is now go to Most High and repent for the sin. It was sin. Because 9 times out of 10, he was with somebody else who was cooking and cleaning, and he was on the internet, and you was showing him them pictures of yourself. So you need to repent first and ask the Most High to forgive you for that sin. And I'm just coming out my head with this scenario, but I know of these type of situations with sisters conducting themselves like that. And there's 1,000 other scenarios you can name. But this is what sisters do things in an unrighteous way, like the sisters on the twerking videos or whatever. You twerking. Now you woke up to the truth. The brother you got was one of your fans for twerking. So now you living with him, you got a couple of kids by him, and he's still on the internet watching other sisters twerk. And now you wondering well, how can I, now you're a righteous woman, you done changed your clothes, and you cover your head, and he's still acting the same way. What do? You go to the Most High and you repent first. Because sisters ain't repenting. They just praying for the brother to change, but you ain't repent for your sin. And then 9 times out of 10, if you and that brother break up, you'll do the same thing, because you haven't even repent from what you did with him, because that spirit is still on you. I done went somewhere else, but praise the Most High. Maybe it's something it needs to be said, because we have to be accountable for our actions, and a lot of people like to forget. They operate in forgetfulness. They don't remember what they did. But the Most High don't forget. He ain't forgetting nothing. So you could try to hide. You could try to act like, oh, I'm righteous and I'm this, and I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. But it shows. See, if you're operating in the spirit, people can see you. People can see what's going on in your life, what's going on in your marriage. You understand? How your husband is acting, how your wife is acting. People can see it. So you're trying to come in or be all holy, but it shows. And more than anything, you haven't repented. You haven't gone to the Most High and asked for forgiveness for what you did, to help him, because he's the only one who's going to clean it up. Because you can't make that man change. And that's another thing sisters try to do. They think they gonna make the man be this and this and that. You can't make no man change. You can't make a man do what you want him to do. It's only through the Most High. That's why Christ is his head. Because you can't deal with him. You can't tell that man what to do. Because that's part of the curses from way back with Adam and Eve. You will want for your husband. So you're not gonna make that man change. It only comes through Christ. So if you are praying, sister, if you are truly praying with your whole heart, then you'll hear from the Most High. He can clean it up like this. You wouldn't be dealing with that that situation too long if you was in the right standing with the Most High, because He'll clean it up just like that. That man will change in one day. That's how the Most High works. He's a miracle maker. He's still in the miracle business, but it's dependent on you, us, how we operate. So I hope that I've, gave somebody something, some edification, so in how we have to start operating, how we have to start looking at ourselves, how we have to take ownership for these things. Take grab of your household. Talk and communicate with your husband. Stop blaming other sisters and everybody else for the things that you need to be taken care of. You can't fight no man head to head. That's not how you deal with them. If you find that you're in a position where you cannot communicate with your husband the way it needs to be communicated, then get some counseling. I think anybody coming into this truth needs to have some counseling. But see, then it comes to a pride thing, because everybody's faking it, trying to act like they okay, and nobody got no issues. That's what we're dealing with. People gotta come, like the scriptures say, like a newborn baby to this truth, stripping yourself of everything and come clean. Come like you're broken, because that's who Christ is coming for. He ain't coming for the proud and haughty. He's coming for the broken, the torn, the ripped, because this is what they did to us. They ripped us to shreds, to nothing. That's why He's avenging us. That's why He's coming to fight for us, because He knows we can't fight for ourselves. So there's no need for you to be acting all proud. You are broken. We are broken. Let's heal. It's time to take off all the fakeness. Stop fronting. Stop. It's time to just stop. Everybody want to act like they all this and all that. They just too good to come into the wilderness. To herd some sheep. Your forefathers were sheep herders. Pilgrims. And you're going to be a pilgrim again, because that's what the Most High said. So stop fronting. Get out here and do what you're supposed to do. If you really, truly love Mahaya like you say you love him, come out of her and get your hands and dirty, and get your clothes dirty, and roll up your sleeves, and let's get to work and get this thing together. Stop fronting. That's what I have to say to Israel and my sisters who, trying to act like they okay. You're not okay. You are broken and bruised and abused, because that's what your slave master did to you. He made sure you were broken. So we need to heal now. Understand that you're broken, and you coming to heal. That's what this is all about. Healing. Getting yourselves together, so we can be the kings and queens that we are called. We are called to be. The Most High is calling us. So I'm going to let it go. But till next week, I have to say all glory and praise to Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya. I thank him for putting this on my spirit to speak to my brothers and sisters. I pray that somebody receives it. That somebody, come on, take them, all that pride off. Just take it off. Take that pride coat off. And let's, roll up our sleeves and get to work and start to heal. Start to love each other. Okay? I hope if you guys want to go on Skype, we could talk about this. Again, I say all glory and praise to Ahaya, Bahashim Yeshaya, Wak Wadashwa Wak,